All right, guys, good morning. Captain Paul, and I'm going to do a live update video, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the market, and I'm going to surprise you at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned because there's developing news coming aboard. This is a very alarming market. I got a comment the other day. I want to do this night. I want you to do one of your 911. Where's the market at? What's going on, Captain Paul, with the market? And I'm going to share with you about 5 deals that are going on with me and prices that were paid in this market and the kind of deals that are out there. But before we get started, let's talk about something that's very, very concerning and very, very alarming to me. Like, this is big time. And it scared the shit out of me, actually. And that's no joke. When I was on Larry's boat, the 36 Manatee, and let's just talk about that real quick. That was listed, I think right around that 130, 140 range. It sold for full asking price. And that's what Larry paid for it after the survey. But it was a boat that was listed at a fair price to the market, and it offered the value that Larry was looking for. So that's why it sold for full price. These are all deals like in the last 30 days. The main ship, 400, that I was on, that brought down the Mississippi all the way from Lake Erie, basically full asking price. Again, these guys didn't I thought the price was just a smidge high on it, and I thought that maybe if they had waited, they could do it. But here's the problem with that particular boat. Main ship is probably the #1 looping boat in the U.S. There's probably not a better looping boat. And then if you take one and you want the twin Yanmars, it even becomes more difficult. And then you take one that has brand new refrigerator, brand new washer dryer, brand new electronics, and brand new air conditioners. Yeah, they were going to pay. They had people stacked up behind it. Now, what would have happened if they hadn't bought the boat? I don't know. But I'm going to tell you right now, it sold for full asking price. A couple of 4788 Bayliners, full asking price. I think these are cult style boats. So these are boats that have a cult following, and when good ones come on the market, they sell very, very quickly. And they usually, if they're listed, I want to make sure that you guys understand that, because if you had listed that 400 at, let's say, $279,000, nobody's buying it. But at in that 230 range, somebody's buying it, if that makes sense. So we have lost that COVID pricing. In general, in the market, we are down 20%, and that's just the overall new boat buying market. It is down 20% year over date, and you can just Google that and see that data for yourself. So we are in a down trending market. I've got Bill, who's looked at several boats over the last few days. He's seen some fairly clean ones, but again, all asking way too much money for the boats for what he's willing to pay. And I tell you guys this all the time, that any boat is only worth what somebody's willing to pay. And so how do you get buyers interested in your boat? You keep lowering the price. It has nothing to do with anything else. If you have a boat that could possibly sell, it's because it creates value for the new buyer, and it's in good enough shape to do that. And those boats are very, very difficult to find, boats that offer that kind of value. Another deal we got going on is Keith has been looking at 2 different boats, actually, and both of those, we got one broker that is just absolutely begging for an offer on this one particular boat. It was an Ocean Alexander, and so it was a little bit older one, and it had 3208 cats in it. It's listed, I want to say, at that 180 range. It was started at 220. It's all the way down to 180, and that owner of that boat is begging for an offer. He has literally told Keith, please make an offer, any offer. He doesn't care what it is. But in the meantime, Keith was already emotionally involved with another boat, which was a 2006 DeFever. I want to hear in the comments how many of you guys saw that boat. It came on very quickly. And then a lot of people were looking at that boat, but he had the broker had it listed at $430,000. And then when Keith actually went and looked at it, same comment from everybody. Beautiful boat. I told him, don't go look at it. Don't show that boat to your wife, because if you do, she's going to love it. I mean, it's a beautiful boat. John Deere engines, just the dream of all dreams. But it doesn't have new electronics. It doesn't have a dinghy. So it's still 2006, it still has 20-year-old electronics, so those need to be replaced. And it doesn't have any dinghy. So there's another, dinghies now are $25,000. Then you got to put a davit system on. There's another $10,000. And he's going to spend at least $20,000 putting new electronics on it. And it doesn't even have a thruster. So the pricing was crazy, and the broker got the same response from everybody in the market. And the price finally, I think they all negotiated it down to $300,000, and that's where the boat's at now. And that's probably where it will sell. So the 430,000, nice throw. Hey, may as well throw it out there and see what happens, right? And see if they still got any of those COVID buyers out there. But there wasn't, and the price came down very, very quickly. And that's one of the reasons you guys don't see these boats in the market. A lot of people call me and say, Paul, why do all I see is the junk boats? One thing is, if a boat's been listed for over 90 days, probably listed for too much money. It's the only reason it didn't sell. For what the value that the boat has offered, and it's sitting there over 90 days, is because they're asking too much money. If they lower the price and there is any value there, it's a matter of what somebody's willing to pay for that value, and they're asking too much money, so nobody's biting. So that's why you guys don't see these boats is like the 400 main ship, Ann and Todd's main ship. They jumped on it right away. They didn't play games. They said, okay, we'll write it up. We'll do the survey. Everything checks out. We'll give you the full asking price, and then we'll drive away with the boat. And it all happened within that first 30 days of the listing. And that's why you don't see these boats. So you either got to catch them before the broker gets them, or right after the broker gets them, or you're not going to get them, because people are still buying boats. Believe it or not. Woo! Who guessed? People are still buying boats. Now, this is what I am going to tell you, and why I may be dipping my toe back in the market. Shh, keep this one secret. This is you guys first hearing about this. I keep telling everybody, especially you guys watching the channel, that I do want to cross the Atlantic. So why not go look at some of these boats that are capable of crossing the Atlantic? I'm not going to go in an unstabilized boat, so that's number one. It has to be stabilized. I can't afford a Fleming. I wished I could, but unfortunately, to tell you the truth, I can't. Even though I've had my best year ever that I've ever had in my entire life, I still can't afford my Fleming. Not even close. I shouldn't even be talking about, I shouldn't even use that word. It should be a dirty word. No. Anyway, so I am going to be looking, though, for a single screw, stabilized. I'm thinking steel hulled. Could be fiberglass, but I'm going to, there's no way I could even get into an older Nordhaven or anything, not in my price range. I want to try and do this on a budget, and there's two reasons I want to prove this and do this. If I'm going to do it, is I want to try and do the entire crossing. That's purchasing the boat and actually doing all the upgrades and everything that the boat needs, and then taking it across the pond and doing all that for less than $500,000. And your mind might be blown right now, saying, whoa, that's so much money, blah, blah, blah. But it's not a lot of money to cross the Atlantic on a private, let's just say 60 to 70 foot yacht. That's not a lot of money, because the boat has to be specifically set up for it. Has to be, it has to have the fuel range, has to be stabilized, has to be in fairly good condition overall. And it is going to be, for me, it would be an older boat, and you're still not going to touch these boats. Anything that would be any type of capable of doing this crossing, I would guess somewhere around that $200,000 range. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, for the cheaper I can get the boat, you know, the more success I can have for the crossing, and the more I don't have to rely on anybody to help me, like sponsors, YouTube. I'm thinking about doing a Patreon specifically dedicated to this Atlantic crossing. I want to hear you guys' comments in that too. We'll talk about that more in later videos as that develops. But I am going to go in the next, there's one specific boat, and I want to surprise you guys with it. I do not want to share the boat with you right now, but I've been looking at this boat for actually a couple of years, and the price keeps dropping, and I'm thinking, wow, this could be the time. So let's at least go make an emotional connection with the boat and the owner and see if it's something that could be suited for our needs. And then we can start, if it is, and it is worth looking at, then we can start, you know, some type of a negotiation. And even if it's 6 months, here's my problem. There's no way that I think that I could buy a boat and get it ready for this year. So it'd be for the next year. So I have a little bit of time on my hand, and I would want to use pretty much all of the YouTube Patreons for that specific project, and money, the people that, you know, donated money to help get that project going, they would be on the boat to do the crossing with me. So it'd be very specific, very small niche of people that actually want to do something like that. It's just in my heart. I want to do it. I'm young enough, I can do it. And I see it so many times where people just let time get away and they make excuses and they didn't do it, and then they have the regret. And that's kind of what this channel is all about. Living life with no regret. And if I want to cross the Atlantic, now's my time. My window is the next few years. If I don't do it, it's not going to happen for me. And I could get a paid gig and do it on a paid job crossing the Atlantic, but we'll see if that happens and if that's in the cards. Anyway, this market, again, it's absolutely brutal, and it's not going to change anytime soon. Like I said, statistically, it's down 20% year to date from last year, and that's on new boat sales, and that's your little fishing center consoles and all the big boats and stuff like that. So everybody's feeling this crunch, everybody. And when it turns, and they always do, it'll turn, and it'll probably turn pretty fast, and it'll probably catch you by surprise. So anybody out there in the market, anybody needs help or anything, just give me a call. It's free to call me. I'll pick up the phone. I'll talk to you. And I'll give you that first hour of consulting for free. Anyway, peace out. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Anybody that has social media, I know we're a bunch of old, I always joke with my daughter, she's involved with the channel now. You're dealing with a bunch of pasty old white guys. But, you know, it is what it is. I've accepted it. It is who I am. You know, I've got to go to the bathroom frequently. I'm a pasty old white guy, and I am who I am. I'm sorry if that offends you. Anyway, peace out. Make sure you live life with no regret. I do. Visit the store and visit Regel. We're going to get, I'm going to go do some more training on the Regel. I get very excited about that product, and I want to get involved with helping some of the people that purchase the product and go out there and help them apply it to their boats. Anyway, peace out. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bye.